Lifetime channel on mental health, and we are in Mysore, Auckland Yoga Studio at David Garrigues workshop. Hi David.
Hi Anna. Do what you like. Don't think that it has to be this or that. It's just whatever you like. Quick. Oh, no. That jumped.
When you start the practice, you are in point A, and I'm going to end at point B, right? That's
Yeah.
You have the plan in the beginning.
They have to go.
If you have only 5 minutes per day for yoga, how would you use them?
Okay, so the first thing is that you use them. Okay?
Oh my God,
so
that's
never
good.
think that the 5 minutes is not enough. Okay? This is a very, and we get that way. We get this extreme thing where we have to do it, all the way, like 90 minutes or 2 hours or none. Do it. Okay? And that Bhagavad Gita, that sacred text on yoga, it says, no effort is ever wasted. Okay? So that 5 minutes that you do every day is a very important. And so it doesn't even matter what it is so much is that you do it. If you have 5 minutes, then there's a few things you could do. Okay? You can do Surya Namaskar, the sun salutation.
Right.
That's a perfect exercise. It's a complete grouping that works the whole body and gives you a sense of flow and it helps strengthen and flexibility.
Sun salutation is like Bhagavad Gita from all Vedas, right? It's like representation of
Yeah.
the...
The whole thing is
Yeah.
represented in that one little simple exercise. Okay, and it's a perfect thing to do if you have 5 minutes. It's like almost made for if you have 5 minutes. Because it's doing all these different movements in one little exercise. There's that, and then here's another idea if you have 5 minutes. Do whatever you want. Whatever you like. Any yoga that you like suppose you like headstand, like some people actually do. Well, then do it. Or whatever it is. So don't try to be too selective, what I'm saying. Because something has to compel you to get on your mat for 5 minutes a day. Okay? And what you like is one way to do that. And that you don't want to overlook. Okay? So do what you like. Don't think that it has to be this or that. It's just whatever you like. Okay? And then otherwise, just sitting more and being mindful, just following the breath and doing something a little more quieting is also a possibility. Where it's not super active, like Surya Namaskar or something, it could be more gentle and still and just creating internal awareness that you take a few minutes for as well. And then also, lastly, you can take any kind of 1 or 2 poses, like downward dog is an amazing pose, and just do that for some time, or just work with standing and reaching the arms up while breathing in and exhaling. Just very simple exercises, or tree pose. Like do some combination of easy poses, okay? And then when you do that, you're going to come up and keep your feet at the wall. And you're trying to weight your back with your hands, okay? So your whole body weight drops into that foundation. And then you're pushing your feet into the wall, and you might even have to go on your tippy toes to get that vertical knee, hip, shoulder. Okay, and then work like that for some time. And then you're going to lift one leg at a time. And so you're using the wall to kind of push off, but you're also keeping your weight in your foundation. And that push off, it could take the weight out of the hands, but you're settling into there. Okay, and you switch, and then you experiment with all 3 options. Both feet at the wall, one at a time, and both away from the wall. All right?
If you have no studio by You have difficulties, I don't know, to reach the studio. How to keep everyday practice? What would you recommend?
And like when you said it before, too, like that there might be obstacles or certain life obligations, just things that are kind of intervening.
Be busy at work, study.
And no studio. So that basically you've got self-practice and it's challenging. Here's a couple of really quick tips. He said 3. So one is you designate a spot. Okay, that you have. That is a very. It doesn't 100% have to be like a separate room, even though that would be great. But it has to be like some area where you know that you go to do yoga. Okay, and that when you roll out the mat, that becomes this sacred space. Ideally, it would be at the same time every day, but that doesn't necessarily work out. So whatever it is, you would agree on kind of in advance how long that's going to be. And so it's 10 minutes or 30 minutes, and you try to like kind of, so you've got this space set aside, and then you've got this time set aside. And then third is you have a certain dynamism to it. Okay, because what will happen is when you practice by yourself and you may not have a lot of energy or you're distracted, then you tend to like go slow and procrastinate and kind of like have your phone there.
Let thoughts.
So what you're going to do is kind of be snappy with it, like kind of know what you're up to and really move, so that a shorter practice that's kind of focused and intense is better than a long practice.
So it means that kind of you know the direction. So when you start the practice, you are in point A, and I'm going to end at point B, right? That's you have the plan in the beginning.
And not hold yourself to like that I have to do this long thing and I get all slowed down and drag it out. Try to bring some zip. Okay, so have a place, have a set time, a duration, and then have a certain spiritedness, a dynamism when you do it. Okay. No, you had a good position. You lift it up higher. Just stay right in that position. Go down, Polly. Down. Yes. Okay. So now here's what that's good. Heck yeah. Okay. So what I want though, come down, come out. Okay. So instead of jumping off your feet, drag your feet. Okay. Drag them back. Here, go. Drag. Just push the mat. Push your feet across the mat when you get to that point where they come down to the mat. You're trying to keep them off as long as possible. But when they come down, just drag. Quick. Oh, no. That jumped. Don't jump. No jump. Eliminate the jump aspect. And slow it down a little bit. Here we go. Arm balance. Keep your weight in your upper body. Okay, now when you jump off your feet, it's light, and slow it down enough to feel that moment when you're going to go off of your feet. Just eliminate trying to jump with such dynamism for the moment. Just let it be very static. Just slowly drag your feet back. Very slow. Here we go. Lift up. Now, bend your elbows and drag. That's right. Drag. Correct. Okay? That's lower that. Yes.
Yoga Sutras, Patanjali, could you please say a little bit more about this course since you are teaching it?
Yeah, so I've been, last 2 years, I've had a summer Yoga Sutras course, and it's kind of like the relevance of this very deep kind of intellectual yoga philosophy with the daily practice. Like how do those relate to each other and correspond? What I've done though is I've recorded a series of talks each summer, and those I'm making those into courses that I will be available on my website, and so that you'll be able to buy that course and download it, and I take you through so there's 4 books in the Yoga Sutras, and the first book is like 50 sutras, or 50 little aphorisms or passages about yoga. And I take you one by one through those, and I I tell you what the words are getting at, and then I give you ideas of how those apply to your mat. How do you do what? So it's like different ways of thinking about practice, and it gives you a kind of deeper context. And so they're all recorded, and my partner Joy, who helps me and films and edits, she's editing those now, and so by the next spring or so, book 1 and 2 will be available, and then you'll be able to purchase them and then work on listen to those talks and take notes and get ideas for your practice. So it's an amazing resource because there's all these books on the Yoga Sutras, and they have translation and commentary. But there's no commentary that's very specifically relevant to the person that's practicing Hatha Yoga every day, doing postures and breathing, and this is that. It's like taking these fairly sophisticated, complex, and intellectual ideas about yoga and making them like, wow, how does this apply to when I do triangle pose? It's an amazing resource. Yeah.
So about Yoga Sutras, do you by any chance read it in Sanskrit or
I do not. I have to choose what I put my energy into because there's so many branches, and it's a real sore spot for me, like that I don't actually read or write Sanskrit. And so I'm reliant on what's called transliteration on the English and on chanting. So I use the audio. So I chant Sanskrit. And I unfortunately don't read or write it. But it's still, I can, because I have spent so much time with what's in those texts, plus practice, then I feel that what I'm able to give and offer is very helpful to people. Yeah. But at next lifetime, I'll definitely learn Sanskrit so that I can, because it's such a different thing to like look at the text in the language it's written in and then make your choice. But luckily there's good resources, really good resources in English that will give you multiple definitions of a word, which I really explore the possibilities of the different words. The word vinyasa, say, has so many meanings. So it means position, and it means movement, and it means breathing, it means order, it means arrangement, it means all these different things. And I'm into exploring all the different meanings and how they apply to practice. And so within the limitations that I have, I make a best use of it. And it's definitely damn that not speaking Sanskrit or really being fluent in Sanskrit.
It takes probably 3 lifetimes.
And you have to choose, because for me, like the Hatha Yoga itself, it's its own language. And I would rather be fluent in that and put my energy into working on that technology. And so when you get to studying Sanskrit, then you're taking it sort of off into another realm that is good, but you have to find the balance for yourself. And so for me, I love the Yoga Sutras. I rely on them. I'm even offering teachings on them, but it's all rooted in the Hatha Yoga. Yeah. An example of that is when you go to do Ustrasana and you push all this forward. Okay, this is the wrong action. Because what goes forward is the spine, which includes your sacrum. So that's the back of the pelvis. So all of this goes forward and up. Okay, but don't mistake that that's not your thighs. Okay, the moment you push your thighs forward, it just immediately makes this get a shearing force, it's called. And this drops rather than, you're trying to make a sail out of your upper back. Try to fill that with wind. Okay? And so this has to push. See those fists? That's your thighs. They have to go. Because your spine is going raw in the other direction. And then you have something. Okay? So in order to get that, you're going to use the wall. But the wall, as usual, see, the thing that's terrible about props is almost invariably they teach you the wrong thing, the exact opposite of what you want. But you have to know that and then strategize and use it. So, for instance, come on. So you go all the way to the wall, and you're going to push your thighs into that wall. Not to push your thighs forward, but to feel the wall stop your action. Okay, so the wall is doing what you need to do. So that's what you want to learn from it. You're not doing capo yet. Okay, so then you come back and you stamp your thighs at the wall, ground your shins, ground and plant your hands on your feet, your heels. It'll be variable depending on your ability to get your thighs to the wall. Okay, and then, so this is all your foundation. As usual, your limbs support your spine. Okay, so this plus this plus this is your foundation. This plus this plus this. So when you do this, that's mistaking where your foundation is. Okay, the whole thing is back, right, to be supported by this, this, and this. And so you've got to create, and the more flexible you are, the more you have to create this resistance, because you'll just be able to push forward. Okay, and then when you create the resistance,
sorry, I just need a break for a second.
yes. And then, so creating the resistance is only the setup, because then the spine responds. That's what you're looking for. The spine goes right up into your torso in a beautiful arc. Okay, so this is what you do. You go to the wall so that you're limited. Can't push forward more. You try it out, and then you immediately come up and move away from the wall and try to learn from it. And use your legs to do what the wall did. Some people can't get their hips to the wall. So to a certain degree, that resistance is built in. But it's the same principle, even if you can't get your hips to the wall. It's the pelvis and spine that are lifting up and projecting forward, and the legs that are stopping.
David, could you please say a little bit more about your project? What do you do about Asana Kitchen? Just more information.
Yeah, so there's a number of different ways to study with me or learn from me. Mm-hmm. And I'll start with that I have online resources. So I have on YouTube the Asana Kitchen channel, which gives really nice tutorials on specific asana technology, and giving a lot of options for different types of people in different limitations or conditions, and levels of experience. And so it's all free, so I invite you to make use of that. And then I have a nice website too with a lot of good articles on it, written things, and then also I have a store that where I offer traditional teachings in Ashtanga, like on the first and second series, but also I offer video courses on more specific themes, like there's a backbending video course, and a strength video course, and one that's on inversions, and so they're like varying lengths, but like 10 classes of say 20 to 35 minutes long, and so they can work as a practice for you, like the different segments you can practice to them for your daily practice, or they can also be a supplemental thing, like an afternoon thing where you're trying to get ideas and researching things. Like if you want to build strength, this strength course is amazing. It has all kinds of exercises and different supplemental things that you can make use of. And then I also teach. I travel around, and one really big thing I do is every February I teach in southern India for 1 month. Although this year it's for 7 weeks, and so I would love to work with anybody that wants. And I teach Ashtanga students and non-Ashtanga students because my method is creative and eclectic and very custom, it's personal. So I customize everything. So the non-Ashtanga student can also join in. And I also then teach kind of like intensive 5-day courses around that give you an immersion into the Ashtanga practice, but also I include Yoga Sutras and Pranayama and Asana technique things. I would love to work with you in any capacity like that. So third position, for one, go ahead, show me your third position. Yeah, so that's not third position. Okay, and the reason why that is not third position, go ahead, is because look at the shoulders. Okay, so if you stood up, so you're mimicking Samastitihi. Okay, so if you did your Samastitihi like you were doing your third position, it would be this. That's your position right now. Okay, so you need this. Okay, so go down there, and so that's why you go all the way up on your fingertips, and you press the ground and push back. Press and push back and lengthen. No, like a back bend almost. Yes, and you go way up on your tippy fingers. No, way only this one touching. Way up. No, stay.
Okay.
Lift your chest, yes, and bend your knees a little bit, and shift the hips forward, and then slowly straighten. Okay, that's getting there towards the third position. All right, so then from here, you won't just put, now go ahead and just put you won't do that and then go back, okay? Because you just made that very nice shoulder position. So what your strategy is going to be is to make a crouch. So you drive your knees forward, even to the point of the heels lifting off. Keep your head up. And your fingers start to go down, but not your palm yet. Okay? And that's right. You make a point. The weight is forward. The chest is up. And that's this coiling action that you're making. Okay? Then from there, step to plank. Quick, just as economic. Okay, that's step one. Okay, step two, go back to that third position crouch. And that step two is to make a poised jump to plank with as economically as possible. Hey, no, lift this up. Okay. Yes, all right. And then third, come back, is to jump to chaturanga with this qualifier. Your upper body gets in position before your feet touch. Don't do it yet.
Okay.
Which means that when your feet touch, movement stops. There's no more lowering, shifting. Okay, and you're also super economical. Bring your hips down. Yes, or they're not quite that far. It's a medium.
My jar is
No. Drive your knees forward. Now you're getting tired?
No.
Because you had it before.
Never.
Lower the hips a bit. And stay forward. Okay, so you're also shooting the legs back as you bend the elbows directly. Go ahead. Okay, not bad. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
You share that with Amy.
Thank you, and I will give all this information below the video in the description box.
Oh yeah, that's one other thing too, is that I keep a regular Instagram and Facebook feed of kind of inspirational, instructional material. And I have started my own podcast that I do once a month too, that's part of the kind of mix of teachings that I offer online. And so you can follow me on Instagram or on Facebook or get on my mailing list and then keep in touch with me.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
That was
thank
wonderful
you. You're
interview.
welcome.
Namaste.
Yes, namaste.